About a week ago, the White House posted this photo. Now, what I want to talk about today is actually nothing to do with the caption, nothing to do with the events, just the image. If you look at the image, the person who was arrested for an alleged crime looks to be crying somewhat hysterically. But if you look at an image that was posted less than an hour earlier on Kristi Noem's page, which was the original image, there's no tears, there's no crying. So what we actually have is the official White House account on X using digitally altered images of individuals, which should be extremely concerning for everyone because we don't want official government publications. I understand, Twitter, we might not look at that quite as official as we would maybe some other government sources, but nevertheless, I think the principles still very much matter here. And we have the official White House account on Twitter using digitally altered images. And to be quite frank, I don't want to get too much into the technical details here, but when it comes to images, there's different degrees to which you can alter them. You could alter an image by adjusting the exposure after it was captured, by adjusting the color temperature, right? Those would all be things that, frankly, are somewhat reasonable. It's somewhat reasonable to adjust the color temperature after a photo is taken because keep in mind that from my understanding, different cameras are going to adjust those temperatures differently just based on the software that they're using. So adjusting something like the exposure or the color temperature after it's taken, I really wouldn't see that much of an issue with something like that, assuming it's not being done for some nefarious purpose, but rather just to showcase the image more clearly or something like that. I don't think that's problematic. But what we have here is, well, I'm assuming it was digitally altered using AI. I mean, let's just be frank, it was probably put into some artificial intelligence and asked to show the individual crying hysterically or something like that. That's most likely what happened. That should be concerning to absolutely everyone. You don't want official government sources putting out images that have been digitally altered, presumably using artificial intelligence. Because once you have opened that door, it's really hard to close it. Right? Once you have one administration doing this, I think it's pretty hard for people to consistently object to the next administration doing it, particularly if the next administration is one that's the opposite party that you're a fan of, right? So right now it's Trump doing it, but if in 4 years you have a Democrat president and their White House official X account is tweeting out what is presumably an image that was altered by artificial intelligence, right? This one was clearly altered, I'm saying presumably by AI. Obviously, you could maybe use a different method like Photoshop, but presumably this was done by AI. You don't want this normalized under any political party. And if you're not going to object to it now because it's Trump doing it, good luck being treated by anyone serious as consistent if you object to this when a Democrat president does it at some point in the future, because it's unlikely that a Republican is going to be president for the next 40 years. They'll probably be a Democrat at some point. And we have to object to this now because you do not want government putting out images that have been altered by AI, especially without disclosing it. Like this one doesn't disclose it at all. This tweet has no caption other than what's contained in the image, which never indicates that this was digitally altered. This actually had to get community noted. Okay, so this photo has been digitally altered to make Nakima Levy-Armstrong appear to be in distress. The director of DHS herself posted the unedited photo in an earlier announcement. That's the community note on Twitter. So I thought this was something that people should be aware of so that they can actually call this out, because you don't want to normalize administrations and government sources putting out digitally altered images. That's a very dangerous road to go down. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting my channel by shopping my merch or supporting me directly through my website, which should be linked in the description. You can also follow me on social media and subscribe on podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts to stay updated with new content.